Hello, YouTube world. I just want to talk to you a little bit more about the Trump assassination attempt, the company BlackRock, and some of the details and numbers uh, that go along with this shooting. I posted this. It's been at least several days. These are some still images from the BlackRock commercial, and I played the video of that BlackRock commercial several videos ago on my channel. You can look it up. You can also probably find it online. This BlackRock commercial that this Thomas Crooks appeared in, and just looking at some of the occurrences, some of the numbers in this commercial, so we can see the kid sitting right next to Thomas Crooks, the supposed shooter, wearing a shirt that says 66, and it's in black and white. You know, Masonic colors here, the black and white, 66. There's a closer look. You can see 66, and it looks to be degrees. You know, and this is notable, is here we look at the apparent official time we were given that Trump was shot, 6:11 p.m. So if we multiply 6 and 11, 6 times 11, we get 66. Exactly the number in this BlackRock commercial from 2 years ago. You know, it's worth noting too that the assassination attempt occurred in Pennsylvania, which is Eastern Standard Time. You know, many have pointed out that the supposed shooting actually occurred at 3:11 Pacific time. You know, Eastern time is 3 hours ahead of Pacific. So the shooting occurred at 3:11 Pacific time. Of course, 3 times 11 is 33. So there's a prominent 33 obviously associated with this if you take into account Pacific Standard Time. Now, by all accounts, too, apparently the exact second, if we go deeper into the time, the shooting on Trump, supposed shooting occurred at 6:11:33. Excuse me, at 6:11 p.m. But apparently it was 33 seconds exactly. That the exact moment when the shot was fired on Trump was 6:11 and 33 seconds. So then also in this BlackRock commercial, we see here on the wall a football jersey with the number 93 on it. Here's a close-up of that. So 93, as we've talked about on this channel numerous times, is a number in the occult world that has to do with death and ritual sacrifice. And this is very interesting. The number 93 is also the English gematria summation for the planet Saturn. So where this is interesting, so the company BlackRock, just think about those words, BlackRock. Well, what does that remind you of? It reminds you of black cube. So a black rock is like a black cube. And I believe the name of the company BlackRock is a direct reference to Saturn. We see here an example of all over this earth in different cities all throughout the world on every continent. Here you see, Australia, Europe, and 2 in the United States, black cubes that are representative of Saturn and Saturn worship. BlackRock sure reminds you of black cube. I really believe absolutely that this is an allusion to Saturn and Saturn worship and Satan, the company BlackRock. And here we see in gematria, and we're talking simple English gematria, the simplest form of coding words into numbers. Saturn equals 93, just like that 93 we see in the BlackRock commercial from 2022 with Thomas Matthew Crooks in it. So, how about this? Donald Trump's RNC speech was exactly 93 minutes long. Here we see, this is Sky News, key points from Donald Trump's 93-minute Republican National Convention speech. What would be the odds that we see, this 93 number featured probably in the BlackRock commercial with Thomas Crooks, Then, and BlackRock is a name that is an allusion to Saturn, which sums to 93. And then we see Donald Trump's RNC speech went exactly 93 minutes. Of course, this is a scripted, staged event, a ritual. And I should mention the most famous black cube in the world, the Kaaba in Saudi Arabia, Mecca, the shrine for Muslims. And unfortunately, Muslim people have been deceived. I know there are a lot of well-meaning Muslim people out there, but the real God of Islam is Satan. Allah is actually Satan, and this black cube, the Kaaba, is worship of Saturn and Satan. And recently, on one of my last videos, had a viewer post a man that was a former Muslim, and it was a great post. Praise God, he found the Lord and is now a believer and saved. And he was just had mentioned and wanted to confirm to me that Obama is in fact the Mahdi and the Antichrist. And I thank you for that great post. So this is the most famous black cube in the world, the Kaaba in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, which represents Saturn and Saturn worship, which is ultimately Satan worship. So something interesting we read concerning BlackRock as well. We see this article. This is from the Times of India. Couldn't find an American source on this. BlackRock linked firm under scanner for shorting a Trump stock before assassination attempt. Let's just go ahead and read this. It's pretty short. A Texas-based investment company, Austin Private Wealth, has come under scrutiny for a filing made just before the failed assassination attempt on U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump. The company has vehemently denied accusations of attempting to short 12 million shares of Trump Media and Technology Group, attributing the incident to a clerical error. Of course, short selling is a financial strategy that involves borrowing a security, selling it on the open market, and then buying it back later at a lower price to return to the lender, thus profiting from the difference. The practice often indicates a belief that the stock's value will fall. Trump was speaking at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, when an assassin fired several shots at him, grazing his ear, killing one audience member, injuring two others. The day before the incident, APW filed for a put option on 12 million shares of TMTG, that's the Trump stock, with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which appeared to be a bet on the company's value plummeting if Trump were killed. Very interesting. Screenshots of the put option from a Bloomberg terminal circulated on social media but disappeared later in the day. Some speculated that APW had major holdings in Vanguard and BlackRock funds, linking them to George Soros and the Rothschild family, further fueling suspicions. BlackRock's connection became more controversial when it was revealed that the alleged shooter appeared in a commercial for the investment giant, as we just talked about. BlackRock subsequently pulled the ad, condemning the assassination attempt as awful. On Wednesday, APW addressed the rumors on their website. The SEC filing would show that Austin Private Wealth shorted a large number of shares of Trump Media and Technology Group Corp. Was incorrect, and we immediately admitted it as soon as we learned of the error. The company said. They clarified that they held only 12 contracts or 1,200 shares, not 12 million, blaming a third-party vendor for multiplying all options contracts by 10,000. The erroneous report filed on July 12th to reflect their June 28th position was amended on July 16th when APW discovered the mistake. Isn't that convenient? Isn't it convenient how that works for these extremely wealthy companies? It's just third-party error. That's all it was. We deeply regret the error and the concern it has caused, especially at such a fraught moment for our nation, APW added, noting that they are reviewing our internal procedures to prevent future errors. Well, isn't that wonderful? Despite the controversy, those who shorted DJT stock faced losses. Following the Butler shooting, the stock price surged from $31 to $46 per share before stabilizing just above $37. So, quite interesting. Apparently, there were people out there connected to BlackRock shorting a major chunk of stock, Donald Trump Media and Technology Group, that were hedging, that were looking for that stock to majorly fall in price. And the death of Donald Trump would be something that would certainly do that and negatively affect that stock price. Wanted to point out a couple other headlines. This is from a few days ago. Taylor Swift sings "Karma is the Guy" on the Chiefs to Travis Kelce for the 13th time. And this is so obscenely ridiculous and in your face. Once again, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, they're giving us the 13. We've been talking on this channel about these 13 rituals just over and over again. And of course, it's the same thing with this, Trump assassination attempt. Right before the Super Bowl, I did a video and posted an article where they were talking about how the Super Bowl was going to be the 13th Chiefs game that Taylor Swift has attended since she started dating Travis Kelce. So it tells you, if you didn't know already, and it's blatantly obvious to most of you, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, who they are, by coding them with these 13s all the time in these articles. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, both in the club, obviously. Then this one, see it, sniper shot former President Donald Trump from 130 yards away on roof. And I forgot to mention this in my other videos. There's your 13 coded again, that, they say Crooks was 130 yards away on top of that building. There's your 13, another 13. They just love these 13s. We're seeing these 13 rituals more and more and more. Boy, I've been having trouble with this computer and this website. So I just want to look up Ephesians 6:11. This is, maybe. Let's see here. Apologize for the delay, guys. This has been funky on this website. May have to go to another one. So, there are people out there that, and a lot of these are kind of the more patriotic Trump supporter people. Trump was supposedly, it was 6:11, I think, is the official time that they said Trump was shot, 6:11 p.m., and there are a lot of people speaking about Ephesians 6:11, put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the walls of the devil. I don't know, just thought I would point that out, another instance of the 6:11 with the time of the shooting. And then we had this coming out in the mainstream news. This has been the last couple days.
More questions this morning over the security failures that allowed...
I'm not going to play this whole thing, but Trump shooter had 3 overseas encrypted accounts, says Congressman. So, this is Congress, mainstream media. Take it with a grain of salt, but they're saying this, Crooks Patsy had 3 overseas encrypted accounts.
Folks, we've got a bombshell about the Trump assassination attempt. The Oversight Project's digging into mobile data.
I want to go ahead and play this for you.
Folks, we've got a bombshell about the Trump assassination attempt. The Oversight Project's digging into mobile data has uncovered some shocking connections. Turns out someone who regularly visited the would-be assassin's home also swung by a building near an FBI office in D.C. Coincidence? I think not. They tracked 9 devices linked to Crook's home and work. One of these mystery devices went dark right before the attack. Another visited a gun store. The plot thickens, people. The Oversight Project's keeping tight-lipped about some details, citing whistleblower protection. But one thing's clear, Crooks didn't act alone. The Secret Service is dodging questions. What are they hiding? Don't miss Gary's ebook, The Silent...
So, I don't know about this. This is Next News Network, but, speaking about some possible connections there with Crooks and the FBI. And then I'm sure many of you have seen this. What they're saying was written by the official patsy, Thomas Crooks. Wrote, July 13th will be my premiere. Watch it as it unfolds on gaming platform Steam before shooting the former president. So, I don't know what exactly went on with this, Trump assassination attempt. You've got a fair amount of people out there that believe the whole thing was staged and fake, that Trump was not shot. You've got that there was glass from the teleprompter that cut Trump's ear, and I don't think there's anything with that one. The more I've looked at it, I just can't really see that being a possibility of glass from the teleprompter. Then you've got people saying it was, a blood squib. Something like that is always a possibility. You never know. It's a possibility, but from looking at it, the more I've looked at it, I haven't seen enough for myself to say definitively that it was faked, staged, the shooting on Trump, and that it was a blood squib on his ear. For me to say something like that, I need to have pretty definitive evidence, and I've not seen that, so I can't say that. From what I've seen, it looks absolutely clear that someone was shot and died, that Corey Comparatori, that he died, and there were literally people shot at this thing. Whether Trump was shot, I can't say definitively on that. I probably lean, I probably lean a little bit more towards him actually being shot, but it is absolutely possible that he was not shot as well. I mean, the thing is, there's so much fighting at these high levels of these elites, these Masons, Knights Templar, occultists, whatever words you want to use, and Trump is very obviously in those circles. We've talked about that, and it certainly is not far-fetched at all that certain people on the higher levels, Obama, we could go down the list, may want to get rid of Trump. It's also possible that the whole thing could be staged, that you could use something like a blood squib, camera tricks, whatever, something else, and it could be used favorably for Trump. There are many possibilities. I'm just being honest and telling you, I don't know definitively. I'm not going to be arrogant and proud. I don't know definitively what happened with this. I know what I know absolutely. It was a ritual. It was staged. This was not some lone wolf. Thomas Matthew Crooks, this 20-year-old kid. My computer's acting up. I do not believe for a moment he was acting alone, and we're hearing reports. I may talk about another video about a second gunman on the water tower. There's some, I've read reports of a third gunman supposedly on top of this gymnasium that was well behind the roof that Crooks was on. So I don't know. It certainly is not as simple as this lone wolf 20-year-old kid acting alone. There's definitely a lot more to this. A lot of talk of numerous shooters. So I'm just being honest and telling you, I don't know exactly what happened. I believe that one man, who they're calling Corey Comparatori, was shot and killed. I believe that others were shot. Concerning Trump, man, I can't tell you definitively on that one. And until I really see, some really strong evidence that it was fake and staged, I'm probably in the camp where I lean a little bit more towards Trump literally being shot. But I'm not definitive on that. There's always the possibility that Trump was in on that, and it was that part of it was staged. But the important thing to me is this is absolutely a ritual. We see here, as we talked about, this marked by the number 93, Saturn, Satan worship. This is absolutely a Masonic, satanic ritual. That, to me, is the most important part I wanted to share with this. So we'll see what happens if something more comes out about this. Just things are moving so fast, obviously, and Boy, Biden just gave probably the worst speech I've ever heard in my life tonight, about him stepping down and Harris taking over. So anyhow, guys, I'm rambling. God bless you. Just wanted to put this out there. Lord willing, I'll talk to you again real soon.